many empty nesters do we have in here? Okay. Oh, you've already gone through it, right? Congratulations, you all made it through. I don't know the first time I'd actually heard of empty nesting. I just know that it happened. But years before it happened, I was married, kids, we're a military family. We traveled here to the DMV, and it was great. And we were listening to all of our friends talk about becoming empty nesters, and they were like having these panics and, just all these horror stories. And I would look at my husband and be like, please, like, when we become empty nesters, we're gonna be like chasing each other around the house, butt ass naked. And we're gonna be traveling everywhere. And he was like, yes. And by the way, he was a pastor and he was in the military. So we had a lot of things that we were gonna do. Anyway, fast forward, I found myself in 2019 facing this emptiness energy. Last daughter decides to leave and she's going to college, and I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I feel lost. I don't really know what to do with myself. And not only because I was sending her off to college, but I was single and divorced. And he was remarried and he had been living his own emptiness life for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm like, shit, I'm panicking. She's gone. I want her to go. What do? I think I did what every single one of us that find themselves in the same predicament would do. I joined POF, Plenty of Fish. I went online. Yep, I went swimming through the cesspool of dating online, and I found a few biters. One in particular, name was Tom. He was a nice little red snapper, and I liked him. And we talked and we talked and we talked, and Tom shared that he was also frantic because he'd gone through a divorce and he was co-parenting with a wife that he did not like anymore. And I was like, great, we can bond over this fear. And so we decided that we were going to have our first date, and soon, because I needed to quickly face this fear by doing something that was even more scary, dating online. So he comes up for a visit. We go out to this place and we say, we're gonna go skydiving. I was like, yes, that trumps this fear that I have of becoming an empty nester, because that's kind of what I do. So we get our gear on. I don't know how many skydivers are in here. We get our gear on. We put on all this equipment, and he's scared. I'm scared. It's perfect. And one of the instructors said, we're going to sit you down for 3 minutes. You'll watch this video and you'll be perfect, to do the skydiving. I was like, okay, perfect. No problem. We got this. Like 3 minutes and that's it. We'll be certified. Because I like certifications. And so we go through the 3 minutes and I'm like, wow, okay, we can do this, right? Tommy's like, yeah. So I say, okay, let's go. I said, let's go out to this plane. And I don't know how many of you would skydive, but they have these really tiny planes. I was thinking more like a Boeing or something, but it was really, really tiny. And so that made me a little bit nervous, but I'm like, this is okay, because they do this all the time, right? So we get outside and I say, wait, I need to call my kids, because they don't know. So I take my cell phone, I go to the corner, and there's a cameraman, he's videoing everything. And so I call my kids and I say, hey, I want you all to know I love you. This is going to be great, but mom is skydiving. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm so proud of you all. And just in case I die, I want you to know that your aunt has all the insurance information and your dad is going to do a great job with you. And they're all sitting on this phone screen like, wait, mom, no, what are you talking about? I said, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And I hang up. And I know you're wondering what kind of mom am I? But I am this kind of mom, because years before, when I first divorced, remember, I tried to do things to trump my current fear. So when I divorced, I wanted to jump off of a diving board. Not because I'm suicidal, but because I was scared of divorce, and the diving board seemed far more scarier. My kids heard that. They'd already lost their dad due to divorce. And they're like, no, mom, don't jump off the diving board. And I'm like, no, I can do this. It's a calculated risk. I'll be okay. They would not let me jump, and I regretted it till this moment that I'm going skydiving. So we get on the plane, and I'm like, yes, let's do it. This plane is cracking, and it's creaking, and it's doing this thing to climb up, and I don't know how far we got to go. But I do know that this cameraman is sitting in front of me. My date is beside me, and we have 2 guys on our back. Now, I did like the guy on my back. That was okay. So we're climbing, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And I'm nervous because I'm thinking, like, this is a really, really small plane. So I look over and I look around, and no one else seemed nervous. Well, Tom looked a little nervous, but I was like, wow, is this supposed to sound like this? And the higher we went, the more it shook. So I turned around because I like clarity. I said to the pilot, when is the last time this plane has been inspected? And so everyone's looking like, is she really freaking out? I just want to know, like, when is the last time? I'm looking for the books and logs, and nothing's there. He says, don't worry about it. We only got like 5,000 feet to go. So now I'm rethinking this entire plan because now the fact that the plane might fall out of the sky is trumping the fact that I need to jump out of the plane with a perfectly good parachute, I hope. So I look over at my date and I'm like, Tom. And he looks at me and his knuckles are white and his eyebrows are bushy and he says, Queenie, I am scared shitless. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I said, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. I looked at him and I gave him a wink and I said, guess what? You can go first. It made perfect sense just in case I changed my mind. And he and his person, they go to the door. Cameraman's there getting all this and 1, 2, 3 and they bail. And we go to the door and I'm like, okay, I'm getting it together. He tells me exactly what to do. And he says 1, 2, 3, and we don't go. And I'm like, now he doesn't know that I have panic attacks. I'm thinking like, this is not gonna be good for either one of us if I go into this full-fledged panic attack. So when I turn to him and I say, are we? And then we go. Now, mind you, I have vertigo, just so you know. It felt like I was spinning for what seemed like an hour. And it was just a constant turn and spin and constant turn. I couldn't breathe and my skin is shaking off of my face. My clothes are like this, and this guy is just like taking me on down, but I feel like I'm spinning. And listen, what they didn't tell me in the video was you could not breathe. So I'm doing this the whole time. I'm trying to suck up what little bit of air I had right in the palm of my hand. And then suddenly there's this beautiful silence that happens. The spinning kind of stops. My brain was still spinning, even though I could see the ground. And I finally let my hands go. And I open my eyes. And there's this cameraman. He's still in my face because he wants to take these freaking pictures. He's asking me for thumbs up. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. I have proof of this, y'all. So I'm doing this. And he's like, you're doing great. And honestly, there was this beautiful peace that came over me as I began to see the shadow of my body kind of levitate over the ground. And then my guy whispers to me, he tells me the instructions of what we're about to do. And I'm like, okay. Got it, no problem. My heart rate goes up again, but it's so beautiful and so serene. And he says, brace yourself. And that's what life is, right? It's about bracing yourself for the next thing. And I'm like, okay, no problem, I can do this. And we come down, and honestly, we kind of hit the ground running. And it felt so freaking good because I realized that I can do some really hard shit to include being an empty nester. And when I hit the ground, thank you. When I hit the ground, my feet run, and I'm all happy. And then there comes Tom. Now, I do not know where Tom and his guy was at all this time. I go to Tom, and I embrace him. He's bloodshot red, and he's still shook, but he's happy. He's enjoying it, and I'm happy for him. And then I said to myself, you can do this. You can do empty nesting, and you will do it. And I have. And for 9 freaking months, just like that little 5 seconds of peace, I empty nested, and I empty nested greatly. And then COVID happened, and my daughter has been home with me ever since, and she's here with me tonight. Thank you.